So today we're going to write, solve, and graph inequalities. Who remembers what an inequality even is? You've done inequality since you were in elementary school. You're just expanding on that knowledge. Who remembers what an inequality is?
I may.
I sort of remember.
It is something.
Lexi? Yeah.
It's where two numbers aren't equal.
So you're comparing two numbers typically. Who remembers what the symbols look like?
Oh, you got the greater sign, the less sign, the equal to.
Yeah, you have greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. So inequalities have compared two numbers for most of your career with inequalities. We're going to start doing some stuff with variables in inequalities, because why not? Put some variables in it. So you guys are going to be doing that today. It's a comparison of numbers. Inequalities have more than one solution. For example, if I say that x is greater than 100, give me a number that could be a solution for that, Riley.
99.
Greater than 100?
Oh, I thought you said less than. Sorry, 101.
That's okay. 101. Damien, what's another number that's greater than 100?
102.
102. So there are multiple, infinitely many solutions for each one because you can do anything greater than or less than that. So just understanding that stuff is super important. So, graph of an inequality in one variable is the set of all the points that represent all the solutions of that inequality. So an open circle means that the number is not included in the answer. So an open circle is used when you see symbols like this and there is no line underneath. It's just not filled in. Instead of, it's like filled in circle opposed to an unfilled in circle is what I'm saying. So there's no line underneath. That means the number is not included in the answer. So if we're looking at like x is greater than 4, every number that's bigger than 4, including like 4.1 or 4.0001, are parts of the solution. But 4 itself is not a solution because it's not equal to 4. So 4 would not be part of the solutions there, is what that's saying. A closed circle, so an open circle is just going to be a circle that looks like this. A closed circle means it's filled in. So a filled in circle is when you have the line underneath. So the number is included in the answer. So if this had been x is greater than or equal to 4, 4 is part of a solution as well as 4.01 and etc., etc. So 4 becomes part of the solution if that line's underneath there because that's greater than or equal to. Before we do these examples, the less than symbol kind of looks like an L. If you were to tilt it, do you guys see that?
Sure.
So if I were to take that and tilt it, it kind of looks like an L. So that's how you know it's less than. The other one is greater than. If it has a line underneath it, that means or equal to. Less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. All right? So how would you read number 1 then, Miguel? What does that say?
Greater than or equal to.
So does it look like an L or not?
Less than.
Less than or equal to. So x is less than or equal to 4. Now, no, you're not going to have to write out the sentence on your homework, but it's so that you guys understand what that is saying. When you are to look at your notes, some of you don't even know what that symbol is saying. So that's to help you guys, when you go back to your notes, understand what that's saying to you. So whenever I plot on a number line, I always plot the point 0 and the other number so I have a reference point. So the point 0 is on there, and then I plot at the point 4 because we're talking about s is less than or equal to 4. Okay, we talked about open and closed circle. In this case, would it be an open or a closed circle based on those definitions that we have up there? Mike? Closed, because it's or equal to, which means that 4 is included in our solution. So we're going to do a closed circle. And then it's less than. So give me a number that is less than 4, Emma. 3. Give me another number that is less than or equal to 4. Josh. Negative 1. So what are all of those numbers to the left or to the right of 4, RC?
Or to the left.
They're to the left. So you'll draw an arrow to the left. I make mine squiggly so I can see it. Because otherwise, if you're just drawing it on top, it's hard to see it. So I like to make mine squiggly. If you use a different color pen, that works too. Okay, questions on that first graphing one? Okay, Cassie, how would you read number 2? X is greater than negative 2. Notice there's no line underneath it, so she didn't say or equal to. Justin, when it says x is greater than 2, negative 2, I'm going to put that reference over there. It's negative 2 is to the left of 0. Greater than, would our circle be open or closed? Open, because it's not or equal to. Negative 2 is not included in our solution set. So Damien, give me a number that's greater than negative 2. Negative 1. Blaine, give me another one.
A billion.
A billion. So Jana, which direction are all of those numbers in reference to negative 2? Are they to the left or to the right? So negative 1 is to the left here and a billion's to the left here?
No,
To the right, right? They're getting more positive, so you want to go to the right. So questions on closed and open circles and shading directions. Justin.
For the closed and open circles, it says the number is not included in the answer.
So, if we're looking at this x is greater than 4 versus x is greater than or equal to 4, that means that you have infinitely many answers for every single one of your answers. But in this case, because it's or equal to, 4 is part of that solution set. But if it's not included, 4 you would not be able. If I said, what is a solution to x is greater than 4, you cannot tell me 4. It's not part of the solution.
So if it has a line under it, it's closed.
Yes.
All right.
Any other questions? All right. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must reverse or flip the inequality symbol. So when you multiply or divide by a negative on both sides of the inequality, you must flip the inequality symbol. So without solving, we're going to decide if these are going to flip or not. So remember, you're going to decide if you're going to flip the inequality or not if you do this on both sides. If you add 8 to both sides, Jayla, will you flip the inequality if it tells you if you multiply or divide, you flip it by a negative, sorry. Are you multiplying or dividing by a negative here? If you're adding 8? No, so will you flip the inequality? No. When you subtract 5, Colin, are you multiplying? It's Connor. When you multiply or divide, or when you subtract 5, are you multiplying or dividing by a negative number?
Multiplying by a negative number?
It's not multiplying, though. It's just subtracting. So are you multiplying or dividing?
Dividing.
No. What operation is there?
Wait.
What operation is 2? It says what?
Oh, subtract 5, sorry.
So is that multiplication or division?
No.
No, so will we flip the inequality?
I was looking at 5.
You're fine. Will we flip the inequality? Will we flip it? No. No, okay guys. A, so this isn't multiplication or division. So in these first two, we don't even have multiplication or division happening, right? All right. How about if we multiply by 10? Will we flip the inequality, Riley? No, why not?
Because it's not a negative number.
It is multiplication, but this is not negative. So again, you need to have both pieces. It has to be multiplication or division, and it has to be negative. Colin, if you divide by -2, will you flip the inequality?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're dividing, and it's a negative number. So you have both of your pieces there. Okay, number 5. Number 5. Connor, will you flip the inequality?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're multiplying. No way.
So which one is it? What are you going to be multiplying by?
Positive.
You're multiplying by a +3. Do we flip the inequality when we multiply by a positive? No. So yes, you are multiplying, but it is not a negative. So you do not flip the inequality. Yes, the 18 is negative, but are you multiplying by -18 on both sides? No, it's the 3 that's happening on both sides.
Hello.
What's up, Tyler? This is 5th hour.
Oh yeah.
All right. Jordan. How about number 6? Will we flip the inequality? No, we're not even multiplying or dividing, are we? That's addition. Jordan. You. Number 7. Why are you flipping it in number 7? What are you doing? Which one is it, Jordan? And tell me why.
You keep it the same because 15 is not.
So it has nothing to do with the 15. It has everything to do with the 4. What did you just say you're doing to the 4? You're adding 4 on both sides. Does addition make you flip the inequality at all?
No.
No. And finally, Grace, number 8. Will we flip the inequality?
Yes.
Yes, why? What are you going to be doing with the -2? It is already multiplying, so you'll be dividing by a negative. So it hits both those pieces. Okay, questions on when to flip the inequality before we move on to the next slide. Questions there? All right, so please write a few things down here. I know it is not necessary to do this, but in our case we are, because it's easiest to read the inequality when the variable is on the left side. So always get your variable to the left side. I know that it's not necessary, it's not wrong if you don't do that, it's just you guys are more likely to get the answer right if you do this. So if you don't do it and still get the answer right, that's fine. But a lot of you guys are going to need to do this. Always get the variable to the left side. Always get that variable to the left side. I'm not even on this slide. Come on. You should be in the same place I am. Put your pencil in your hand and start writing. Why is this the case? Well, it's because you must always read the inequality in terms of the variable. So it's just easier if it's on the left side. You will solve inequalities just like you solve equations. The only difference is that you may have to flip the inequality symbol when you multiply or divide by a negative. Also, you'll get multiple solutions no matter what for the answer unless it's a false statement. Then that's no solution. All right, so what does minus a negative mean, Brian, for number one? What does minus a negative mean? What is that the same thing as? Adding. This is really saying x plus 3 is less than 8. Remember, we want the variable on the left side. Is my variable on the left side here?
Yes.
Okay. So, Blaine, what am I going to have to do to get the variable alone? So once the variable is isolated, you can plot the points on the number line. Again, always just put 0 as your reference point and then the number. Mike. I just put 0 somewhere. That 5, there was enough for 5 spaces to the right. Honestly, you could have gone over 3 more if you wanted to. It doesn't matter. But I knew that 5 had to be to the right of it, so I just made sure there was enough spaces to the right of it to put the 5. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because positives go on the right and negatives go on the left, just as a reminder, guys. Okay, will my circle, Tanari, be open or closed?
Open.
Open, and it's at the 5, because of the 5 here, and it's an open circle. Okay, Justin. What is going to happen here? What is being read there? How do you read this answer?
X is less than 5.
So what numbers are less than 5?
4, 3, 2.
So which way are you going to shade? To the left or to the right? So that is your solution set. It's telling you that everything in that number line to the left of 5 is a solution. 5 is not included in your solutions. You could not tell me that 5 is an answer.
Oh, okay.
All right. Number 2. J-Law, what am I going to do? The goal is to get x alone. It's the same thing you do as an equation. What are you going to do? Okay, you hear her saying divide by a negative. What should you be thinking? Whenever you hear yourself say multiply or divide by a negative, you must flip the inequality symbol. So because you're dividing by a negative, you must flip the inequality symbol. So that becomes a less than sign. Okay, obviously negative 18 will not fit on this number line, right? What did I do wrong? Oh, that's negative 3. I never divided it. Negative 3 will fit on this number line. So, I'm going to put a 0 here, and negative 3 will go to the left of it. If your number does not fit on the number line, say I had done negative 18, just put a 0 here, and then if it had been negative 18, I probably still would have put the 18 here. It really doesn't matter, because I just need to understand that just need to understand that negative numbers are to the left and positives are to the right. Okay, Lamar, is it going to be an open or a closed circle? Is it or equal to? Is there a line underneath? So it's open. Good. All right, Alyssa, are you going to shade to the left or to the right, and why? To the left, what is that symbol saying there? It says x is less than. So the numbers to the left are less than -3. Josh, what am I going to do first in number 3?
Multiply by 4.
So I'm going to multiply by 4 on both sides. Do we flip the inequality from multiplying by a positive 4? No, I did not say the negative, so it's only one piece of that. So I have negative x is less than or equal to 8. I am not isolated yet, Emma. What do I still need to do? Little hint there. What are you going to do? Yep. Wait, what should you think? She said divide, so you must flip the inequality. Well, she said divide by a negative, so you must flip the inequality. So x is greater than or equal to -8. She can go if she needs to. She can ask me. All right, so I'm going to put 0 here and -8 over here. Grace, will my circle be open or closed? This says greater than or equal to. If it's or equal to, is it open or closed? Closed, because it includes -8 as part of our solution set. Lexi, shade to the left or to the right?
To the right.
And why is that?
Because it's greater than.
Greater than, and all the numbers to the right are greater than -8, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are greater than 8. -8, sorry. All right, next one. RC, what am I going to do first in number 4? And you get? Riley, now what?
Sorry. You divide both sides by -1.
I don't know why you just apologized to me.
I was still writing.
Oh, you don't have to apologize for that. Continue to write if you are writing. So what did you think if he's saying divide by a negative? Again, we always want our variable on the left, and we have been keeping it on the left the whole time. So this becomes x is less than or equal to -1. Come on. Okay, Jayla, open or close circle? Good. Jana, which way will I shade? So that looks like an L, so it means less than. Less than numbers are to the left of -1. Very good, girls.
Not bad.
It looks like -10.
It does. I agree. Okay, Miguel. What am I going to do first in number 5?
Add, subtract 2 from 6.
And what do you get? So combine your like terms.
And then you subtract 4.
Good. Do we flip the inequality when we subtract on both sides?
No.
No, so we should not be flipping the inequality there. Miguel, you want to continue? Do we we're dividing by a positive 5. Do we flip the inequality?
No.
Doesn't matter that that 15 is negative. What matters is what you're doing on both sides. So you do not change the sign. Okay, Justin, open or close circle? Open. We do not include -3 in our solution. There's no or equal to with this one. Cassie, are we going to shade to the left or to the right? To the left. Why is that?
Because x is less than -3.
Good, you read it right. That looks like an L. It's less than. All the numbers that are less are to the left of -3. Okay, questions on that one? Kaylee, what do I do first in number 6?
Add 7 to both sides.
Brian, then what?
You divide 2.
So we leave it as a fraction of 17 over 2. But to go ahead and graph it, I would put it in your calculator to figure out what the decimal is so you know where to plot it. So, but you would leave it like this for your answer, but I would put it in your calculator to figure out how to plot it along the number line. It doesn't do what?
Like turn stuff in the decimal.
I can show you how to if you take it out.
It literally just makes everything a fraction.
I know, I'll show you how to change that. I know what calculator has. Okay, do 17 divided by 2. Hit the S to D button and we'll change it to a decimal. So we know we need to do 8.5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8.5 is between 7 and 9. Connor, open or close circle? Closed at 8.5. Jordan, right or left? To the right, that's greater than or equal to, so that is to the right. So look at those first 6 examples and see what questions you have for me so far. When you're ready, if you don't have questions, go ahead and flip and we'll do some word problems. You always have homework. Just assume you have homework. So the day that you don't have homework will make you feel better.
Caught it.
All right. Is this the right page you guys have? Okay. The Science Club charges $4.50 per car at their car wash. Write in and solve an inequality. Find how many cars they have to watch to earn at least $300. So before we even get started here, we need to talk about equations versus inequalities. Yeah, I'll talk to you later if you need to talk. So equations versus inequalities. Equations are an exact answer. You have an exact total. You often see the word is when it's an equation because it's equal to that. It's the same as that. For an inequality, it doesn't have to be exact. It can be about how many. So it's not exactly exact. You might see less than, greater than, minimum or maximum. You might see at least or at most. All those words do not mean